Oh, 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 thank you, Boom Tube, for getting me in there safely. Now, go to sleep. Once again, live on tape from a secret location in downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, historic downtown I might add, comes in the Library of Graphic Literature with your host, me, Wallace. So this week, let's have a sip of tea here. This week we actually got quite a bunch of beautiful books, shall we say. They're every single one of them actually is a top-notch favorite of mine. So let's get right to it. As a matter of fact, I'm so excited. I don't know which one to open first. And for a change this week, every single one of them, I do believe, comes wrapped in plastic, so we get to actually really pop them open. Let's start with one of the smaller ones here. Challengers of the Unknown by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Two of my favorite creative partners from oh god, they've done everything from the Batman The Long Halloween to a series of those books, the Spider-Man Blue, I do believe it was, the Daredevil Yellow, and Captain America White, and a lot of other cool stuff. Anyway, I love these guys. I love Sale's work. He's another one of these people. I remember last week when I was talking about Milton Caniff. In my mind, Tim Sale is without doubt a Caniff discipline of the master. And here we go. We'll have a good close-up look here first of all. So great, some great artwork there. Like I say, I love his style. It's just so simple, so elegant. And I can remember when this series first came out in the 90s. I was actually always a big Challengers fan. I like the early 80s Challengers, and when this series came out, I was really excited because it was just like, hey, these guys are good at this. And I actually did read. I have actually read this whole series before, and so I can. Although I can't remember a lot of it, I know that I liked it. I don't know how much of a recommendation that is. Let's poke through. Actually, most of the books we have here today are from DC. Actually, out of the 5 books I have here to look at tonight, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are DC. Way to go, DC. DC is ruling the roost here tonight. Oh, and here, I actually keep these boxes that the Absolute Editions come in. I'm not sure if anyone else does this, but I do this so if I ever have to move again, God forbid, I can package them up like that. The last time I moved, I actually seriously injured myself, and I have not recovered since. I know it's funny to laugh at it now, but I don't laugh at it when it actually starts to hurt me when I'm moving stuff around and all that. But I guess there was some prices have to be paid. Anyway, here I'm unwrapping the Absolute Edition for Wonder Woman by Azzarello and Chiang. This is the, I always keep these little things too as bookmarks. This is the amazing series from the New 52. The New 52 was when DC rebooted a few years ago there, as most of you probably know. And you know, I liked some of it. There were a few hits and misses. Batman was one of my favorites. Batman, I think the Flash, the Green Arrow, and right up there with the Batman was the Wonder Woman title. I thought this Wonder Woman, Azzarello's Wonder Woman, was one of the best that I'd read definitely since Perez. And actually, to be quite honest, I kind of like this even more than Perez. So let's have a look here. Shake it out. Don't you just love these slipcases here? Let's have a close-up look here now, folks. See, beautiful, eh? I like the sort of side, see, and then on the back, sort of a really nice drawing there. But yeah, all around, that's what I like about DC, when they, their absolute editions, all these quality books they put out, these high-end production have great production values. They're beautifully done. I love the design of them. The printing is usually spot on, and overall I'm a big fan of the Absolute line. Now, of course, this one has Orion in it too. That's one of the things that I loved about this run of Wonder Woman. So if any of you are out there are into Wonder Woman or want to get into Wonder Woman and want a good series to start off with, this actually is a series. I mean, look at this. The artwork. Once again, Chiang is in some ways, like I say, like Tim Sale and the others. I can see him being influenced by Alex Toth. I love the art though. There's just something so clean, so beautiful to it. And there's something about these Absolute editions. I don't know. There's something about reading a comic book this big. And I'm not a fanatic when it comes to the absolutes. I don't get every absolute, but you know, anything that I really like, I will get in Absolute edition. Like Watchmen, V for Vendetta, what else? Authority, Dark Knight, anything that was really super cool from DC, if it comes out in Absolute form, I'll buy it. One of my favorites actually recently was The Preacher, which I wasn't going to buy until I actually seen it, and then I just snapped and I had to have it. And what sold me on that one, funny enough, was the spine. I love the leather look of the spine. It looked like some kind of mystic book. Now, we'll get into actually one of the books that I've really been looking forward to for a long time. Inside Moebius, Part 1, from Dark Horse. This is part of the Moebius library that they have been putting out. Well, this is actually the second book. There's a couple more books coming out in the next few months too. Inside Moebius, Volume 2, and The Art of Adina, I do believe, are the two other ones scheduled for this year. Special shout out to Diana Schultz there, who works on, I do believe she translates this. I always see her there on Facebook and chat every so often about Moebius, and this being a book I've been looking forward to seeing for so long. Mainly because of all of Moebius's works, this is one of the few ones I've actually never seen before. So, you know, I don't know how much I can say about it. All I know is that basically it's the interaction of him with his characters and all that. And so, for a change, I don't know much about what I'm talking about here. Well, except for Moebius, and because I'm a huge Moebius fan. I first fell in love with Moebius in 1977 when heavy metal hit the shores of North America. And me and my friend Jerry Porter, who I did a comic with back then, heavy metal, Moebius, Drool, all of them, they hit us like a creative punch to the face. And it changed the way we thought about comics forever. I can remember even before that, him and I had always thought that comics were an art form and all that. And when we seen heavy metal, and especially Moebius, it proved to us that indeed we were right, that comics were an art form. It was even proven more right, even more so when I seen a collection of Moebius's work from heavy metal, and the introduction was by Fellini. So to me, it's just like, well, obviously these people highly respect this fella. And here we go. I'll just sort of flick through. I always loved his simple style. He has just such an ease to his work. And his line and that. I just can't wait to actually sit down and read this. As a matter of fact, I feel like starting to read it right now. Anyway, there's the master himself. Unfortunately, I never did get to meet Moebius. There is The World of Edina, the last book. That's the upcoming one, The Art of Edina. And, 3 volumes in 2018. Part 1, 2, and 3. And all 3 of those will contain the 6 volumes that it was published in French. But already, this is my favorite book of the year already. 9 kisses, 9 tongue kisses to that one. Okay, speaking of tongue kisses, let's go. I'm going to leave one of my other favorites for after I have a sip of tea. Okay. I don't know if you can hear in the background. Sometimes I notice when I'm listening to these, but once in a while you will hear traffic and all that. That's because where I live in St. John's, Newfoundland, I'm on the 2nd story of a building, and I'm right out on a major thoroughfare here. So that's why sometimes you might hear traffic. Once in a while I've even heard a horn going in the background. So just let you know. And I've yet to hear actually a fire engine come down during one of these, which I'm sure is going to happen sooner or later, because like many places I've lived in my life, from New York to Toronto to here, somehow I've always lived on the road in which the fire station is. That's kind of easy in New York now that I think about it. But anyway, let's move on here. Our next omnibus, holy omnibus, is the Ninjak omnibus. Let's have a look at this. Ooh, and here's what the inside looks like. It's a nice black, classy little thing. Okay, and I like the dust jacket. Now let's have a look at this Ninjak. Whoa, listen to that. Oh yeah, nicely done. Let's have a look at the production values. Sometimes I see some stuff in the production values could be a bit better. This doesn't seem to be too bad. Okay, yeah, not half bad. Anyway, it's let's see. It started out with, I do believe Casado was one of the was one of the creators. At least I believed it was. But Ninjak was from and this is it here. This is the 1990s. It was a character created for Valiant when it was in its first and possibly greatest incarnation. And it started out with the great Joe Quesada origin issue. Absolutely stunning there. I always liked his artwork. It's a pity he doesn't do more. But he only did it for so long, and then he passed it on to a variety of different people after him. Now, I can't remember how far I got in it at the time when I was reading it, but it's starting to already look a little bit unfamiliar to me. So I guess I'll have a read of those and see what we have here. Oh, Okay, this is Mark Morales stuff here. Inked by Dick Gordana. Oh, that's kind of nice there. And Abnett and Lanning. So it's I can't wait to actually sit down and reread a bit of this, relive some of the magic that was Valiant in the 1990s. I can remember when Valiant first came on the scene. I'd actually started buying Valiant titles at the time, not because I'm some sort of comic book genius, which I am, but I started buying it mainly because of Magnus Robot Fighter. When I was a kid, I was a huge fan of Magnus Robot Fighter from Gold Key, and so when I seen it come out from this new company Valiant, I figured I'd check it out, give it a try. Same with the Dr. Solar. And then with that new title they came out with the Exo Man of War, and it's sort of steamrolling. And next thing I found, I was buying just about all their titles. And yeah, I had a great collection of them, now all gone, all sold off. I'll never forget when I was selling off my Harbinger #1, and I think I sold it for $100. And the person I sold it to at the time, and it was worth $100 at the time, I'll never forget how he said, you know, will this always be worth $100? But even at that time, I knew that there was a lot of uncertainty and bad stuff coming in the market, and I was quite honest with him, said maybe, maybe not. I told him that there was a lot of up and down in the market at the time, and that these, you know, in a couple of years might not be worth that, or it might be worth more. I guess he should have listened to me. Now, this is actually another one of my. This is probably right up there with the Inside Moebius. This is the Bronze Age House of Secrets Omnibus, Volume 1. Now, that's the dust jacket, and there. I kind of like how DC has these embossed, very classic covers to it. Now, onto this book here. When I first seen that they were doing a Bronze Age House of Secrets Omnibus, I snapped, because having grown up in the 60s and 70s, I knew the kind of art and that we're going to see with a volume like this. So just to give you a quick sampling, just to let you know some of the people in this. I mean, there's a lot of covers by Neil Adams and Bernie Wrights, and let's see, pencils by Jerry Grandinetti, written by Mike Frederick, Jerry Conway, Bill Drott, Jack Sperling, another favorite of mine, more Drott, Werner Roth from, he did a lot of the X-Men after Kirby gave him up in the early 60s. He's not a bad artist, he's kind of serviceable enough. More Gordana, Sparling, pencils by Dick Dillon, inked by Neil Adams. That should be interesting. Let's see, Bill Drott and Gordana. Alex Toth. See, here we go, we're starting to get into people like that. Oh, even pencils by Mike Royer, the famous inker of Jack Kirby. More Drott, Dick Dillon, Sid Green, and art by Don Heck. Here we go now. Gil Kane, inked by Neil Adams. Now, isn't that a treat there? And another one written and illustrated by John Costanza, the famous letterer. Ralph Reese, Gray Morrow, Dick Dillon, which I said before, Mike Kaluta. Now we're really starting to get into him here. Let's see, Mike Kaluta, more Gray Morrow, Don Heck, Wally Wood, Sam Klansman, Murphy Anderson, Rich Buckler, George Tuska. That's a Buckler and Neil Adams, by the way. Let's see, Alan Weiss, Jim Aparo, one of my favorites. Sergio Aragonés even. More Alex Toth, Desaniga, Russo, Alex Toth, Alan Weiss, Don Heck. It just goes on and on. But the best part in this too, there's people like Nestor Redondo, and I do believe there's even some Alex Nino working this. Alex Nino is probably one of the more unknown artists I've found from the 70s when I'm talking to people about artists who are favorites of mine, and I mention Alex Nino. Not very many of them seem to know who I'm talking about. So that's why I was so excited that this volume came out. I do some work. I'm an artist. I do some work with a friend of mine, Paul Tucker, who's done some work for IDW. He did a series called Ted with Paul Allor that was very good. Check it out, by the way. And I'm always telling him about some of my favorite artists when I'm growing up, and I can't wait to show him this book. And I can't actually wait to even show you folks this book. Now, let's see here. This looks like that looks like the Kirby inked one there. Let's see here. It's Grandinetti there. Oh, let's see. Some of the cool stuff here. It looks like a Neil Adams one there. That's a bit of Neil Adams there, it looks like. Inked, if not drawn by him. That was Gray Morrow there. A bit of Neil Adams back there. So yeah, this was great, and this includes the first Swamp Thing, which is now probably the third time I have this in some form or another. This looks like Jim Aparo, one of my favorites. There we go. Oh, and Alex Toth right there. There we go. Let's skip ahead. Have a look there. There we go. This is the Nestor Redondo stuff. I loved Redondo on Swamp Thing. He just has a beautiful, beautiful style of drawing. So, some more Jim Aparo there. And let's see if I can find at least some of that Alex Nino that I so love. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. That's why I'm so excited. I'm of course hoping that, well, it says volume 1 on the cover, so I'm hoping that of course it's going to be more than just that. Let's see, come on. Oh, here we go. Now this folks is Alex Nino. Absolutely stunning. There's just something, he's unlike any other artist that I can think of. So if you're not familiar with him, check him out. And there's E.R. Cruz, so there's a lot of more exotic ones towards the end of this book here. Oh, there's another Alex Nino one, and I do believe there's even at least one more. So, but yeah, I used to love these when I was a kid. They were I'm not a huge horror fanatic, like I'm not a big lover of horror movies and stuff like that, but for some reason I kind of like sort of 70s, 60s and 50s horror comics. There's just something, I don't know, just something quaint to them too. Especially the ones way back in the 50s, though. Some of them are actually quite gruesome. So anyway, I'd say between what I got today, this and the Moebius, I'd say they're tied for my love. So either one of these, folks, if you love comics, pick up either one of these. You won't be disappointed. Especially this one. Like I say, a lot of great 70s artists in that one there. Oh, that being said, I think I'm going to call it a night here. Of course, I am still planning feature. I've been talking to people about different features that I'm planning, and I will do a few standalone shows actually coming up in the next few weeks. There's one I'm going to do about the Captain America, and I might even talk a little bit about, yeah, I think I was going to do one about cartoons, and I think I might even do one like about the PS art books too, because they're kind of cool. I got a few of those there today too. But anyway, from way up here in the North Atlantic, where it's actually raining this evening. I know it's February and it's raining, and I know some of you in North America are saying, "Oh, what's he complaining about? It's snowing here or whatever." But I'd kind of actually rather snow. That being said, thank you for your kind and rapt attention once again. Let me reassure every one of you that I love each and every one of you, as much as I love comics. And anyway, for my fellow comic book lovers out there, have a good evening and keep on reading. What? Oh, he's telling me something, yeah? Really? No, I can't believe that. Oh yeah? Oh, what? You're gonna call a YouTube, not a YouTube, a boom tube on me? Well, okay. If you insist. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God, there it is. There it is. Oh, look at the size of that one. Oh, bye.